Good morning and welcome to a rather overcast day in the South Lakes. And look what's just arrived. Now what on earth could be in here? This is the DYU C3, a commuter bike that's foldable. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. I've been biking for many years. I had everything from rally that they offered. Started with the Striker and then moved on to the Styler. And then I started moving into mountain bikes. And I ended up with a Tushingham. And then after that, started progressing my biking collection. Ended up with the Santa Cruz Chameleon, and then followed that up with the Sun S1, a full suspension mountain bike from France. Now, we've all seen over the last probably 4 to 5 years that electric bikes have made their mark. And I thought it's time to get an electric mountain bike. But do I need something a little more commuterish? Because if Annabelle pans round, you'll see the size of my Trek rail. Now this is 27.5 kilos. Not really the perfect solution for a commuter ride. That's where this comes in. Now I've been watching these guys, and they started over 10 years ago with commuter bikes. And more so, foldable. Now that's perfect, because that is a nightmare to get in anything. I can fit it, but you have to remove both wheels, or at least one, with a decent sized SUV. This, I'll be able to put in the back of the Merc. Now I've done a lot of research on this bike, I've watched some reviews, and it seems to be a really strong contender in the electric bike market. I suppose what remains is an unboxing. My trusty skizzers, and let's get cutting. Packaged well, and a decent strong cardboard box with recyclable symbols, etc. all over it. If at all possible, recycle what you can. This kind of thing, not a clue. Check with your local council. Ooh, DYU box. Now safety first. Because it's a 20 kilo bike, I thought it better to put it a little lower. Relatively good packing. Oops, that was a box. Now at this point, I'd be trying to clamour for something that I could prop it up with. Luckily, it comes with a stand. It's not encompassed completely, but you've got a lot of foam to protect any parts that could get damaged in transit. It's good to see that the wheels are already on. It amazes me how small these bikes are. 14-inch wheels. And if you put that into context, my Trek rail is 29-inch. It'd be interesting to see if we can do this all from what's in the box. More foam and some zip ties, so. Good to see that you've got disc brakes front and rear. LED front light, rear light, and yes, it's LED, and it also acts as a brake light. I think the thing that really staggers me about this bike is the price. It's about 8% of that. Range of around 25 miles. Obviously that depends on mode. Construction's pretty good. It's nice and solid. Even the bits of wire here that hold things like the mudguard in place are relatively sturdy. Well, that must have been protecting something. Whatever it is has escaped.
Super Nintendo has arrived.
Ah! Good morning. Have a look at this. Oh, he's not jumped off immediately. I think that's a good sign. Oh, it's got a bell. This is rather important, and I like the way that it's in red, so it alerts you to it. It is a folding bike, but it doesn't fold on the frame. It folds on the handlebars, or the stem rather. It's got an on-off switch, so it can't just like leap off. So you need to enable it, and then you've got battery readout as well. So high to low. Very straightforward. Let's take a look in the box. So, nicely packaged once again. Pedal, multifunctional wrench, charger, instructions and warranty card. So it's nice that it details what's in here. Well packaged once again. Foam insert, pedals, they are plastic, but when I bought that, the standard pedals were plastic too. So that's the norm. Charger, and your multi-tool. DYU branded too. It's got a selection of Allen keys, Phillips head screwdriver, and oh, there's even a spanner. And the idea is to put it all together using just the tool. I think it'll be child's play, to be honest. Even on the pedal arm, you can see which way you're supposed to rotate the pedal to tighten it. See, that's clever thinking. Now 9 times out of 10, you're going to put this bike together yourself. So it makes sense that everything's in the box and you don't need to be a bike mechanic. That'll hold 25 kilos. Relatively straightforward to put pedals on. You've noticed they've got reflectors. Nice rotation there, and sturdy. Good strong plastics. Tighten it like this. nip it up with the spanner. Just make sure the thread's straight as well, just by eye. Okay, it's done. In case you can hear that music in the background, and that's Milnthorpe's steel band. Beautiful. Sunshine. Now in transit, this may have got slightly bent, so all you do is straighten it up again. And just make sure that none of the metal bars here are biting on the chain. Cool. The moment of truth. Fold the handlebars up. Okay, so. Sounds like something from Trading Places, doesn't it? This quite literally folds up as far as it'll go, and then this just clicks in place like so, and that's it. Solid, very easy to unfold too. Perfect. It's decent construction. Even the feeding of the wires and the brake cables and all this, pretty damn secure. Also looks like we've got easier, yeah, look at that. So you can even adjust this with quick release. You want it on something like that. And that way you can see your readout and your brakes in the right position. The last thing to check your tyres. 25 to 45 psi. They've got air in. Bear in mind, the higher the pressure, it'll make the ride more stiffer, shall we say. It's very well put together. There's no sharp edges either. Things have been rounded. Annabelle just noticed that this folds down and then tightens up here. Got an Allen key bolt and it's quite loose, so that's telling in itself. As you can see, pretty damn sturdy. I'm happy with that. Just fit the saddle. Ooh, nicely padded. Very simple quick release system. Loosen it fully off. Perfect. Just make sure that the saddle's straight before you ride it, and tighten. Amazing. Make sure it's aligned. And there we go. Then do the other side. Baby spanner, tighten up. Don't forget to tighten up your reflectors, as we've just found out. Exciting. The beauty of this bike is you don't need to do any of that again. Literally, you drop the seat and then fold the handlebars, and then it's ready to transport. If you've noticed, pretty sturdy chain, but because it's an e-bike, it has to be more advanced than, say, a pedal cycle. I think it's 15.5 miles an hour on its own steam. That's when the motor cuts off. Now you might be looking at reviews of this and thinking, why is it 250 watts? Well, that's the UK standard, and more to the point, limit. The American variant is 350 watts. Of what I've read, these are already charged. So let's fire it up. Now it's not the lightest e-bike, but as I said before, my bike is 27.8 kilos, so 20 kilos is doable. And the likelihood is you're just going to lift it in and out the back of a car anyway. I have noticed that it's got a 15-degree limit, shall we say. So hills that are over, say, something like that, you will notice that you might have to pedal to keep your momentum because the throttle just won't allow it to do that. But you expect that. This has got 10 Newton meters of torque. Now to put that into context, my Trek Rail has got 70, which is closer to a Suzuki Swift 1.2. But that's not what this is built for. It's built for going down roads. And to be honest, it does a damn good job. I mean, round here, it's all gravels, tracks and things like that, and you've got absolutely no problem riding on those. You've got the 14-inch wheels, and bear in mind there's no suspension, so no front shocks and no centre shock either. So that will affect the ride, so I wouldn't be getting air on those 15-foot jumps. And currently, there's a range of free gifts you can get. Things like a helmet, a bike lock, a bascui, but it's nice that you get that, especially with the outstanding price of this bike. Anyway, that's enough wittering on. Charging, very simple. You just plug in there, and it takes 3 to 4 hours. You can just use a normal home plug. Now I've been racking my brains on trying to work out how you know this is charging, and it's extremely simple. It's nothing to do with that. It shows red, and when it's fully charged, it'll go green. What I'd like to see moving forward, when it's charging, you can see each battery section solid, and then the one that's charging above it flashing until it shows fully charged. I'll just put some of the specs on the screen now. Yeah, it's not the lightest bike, but at the other end of the scale, it's not the heaviest either. Little comparison. And to think they can both accommodate me. Now bear in mind the discs, if you've never ridden with them and you've just ridden with V-brakes, they're pretty sharp. When it comes to steps, no problem. So I can just lift it up here and it won't scrape. And better than that, I can just go off this and it won't catch either mudguard. Interestingly, it's one speed, so you don't need to change gear. So it's just pedal, and then it's assisted with the electric motor. Now this is where you power it up. So press once and full charge. Amazing. So that's around 25 miles. Realistically, especially in colder weather, I'd say closer to 22. And depending on how you ride it, like the Trek, you can likely do more than that. It's just one of those that you'll have to learn your style. Now this is one heck of a bargain. Heck, £520. But currently it's on offer for just under £450. That's a lot of bike for the money. Warranty, 2 year on the frame, 1 year on the battery and the motor. Thing is, if you look after it, it'll last you way longer than that. Time to ride. Always make sure that you ride with a helmet. It could potentially save your life. And make sure you've got a decent quality one as well. At 6'3", I'm not the ideal market for this, but the fact that I can still use it is excellent. The recommended height limit is 5'10", but, well, judge for yourself. Let's go. Very cool. Well, it did far better than I expected on that hill. That's way steeper than 15 degrees. I thought it'd feel more lethargic. I'm impressed. Let's see if I can get to the top. Great brakes. And yeah, absolutely no problem getting up there. I did have to put my back into it, but you expect that with a bike anyway. It's surprisingly stable considering my height and the width of the bike, and also its height. They're relatively wide tyres for something like this. Ready? This is so fun. Perfect turning circle too. Very easy to manoeuvre. Locks there, but I think that's actually further than the Trek. If I do this, I can feel it pull, but I can hold it back, so that's good to know. A little bit of throttle and pedal. And now no pedal, and a pedal. Like a motorbike throttle. The more you turn it, the more power it gives. Very straightforward. Perfect for commuting. I mean, I could do some light trails on this as well. Pedaling, it seems to be in a decent ratio, so it's not too heavy. It's kind of mid-range. Full throttle, you have to give it a bit of pedal. On grass, yeah, it's not as quick at pulling away, but then it gets easier. Well, it's pretty interesting on gravel. Successful ride. Now the thing I'm asking myself is, will it fit in the car? First things first, let's power off and then load up. Stowing. Now I usually use the Civic for mountain biking. Now no matter what I've tried, I cannot get the Trek in here. The frame won't even fit without wheels. So hopefully this is going to fit in with absolutely no palaver. I'm going to put the stand up and then I'm going to drop the seat and then lock back in place. And to release, you just literally, bit of strength, pull that. And then you notice this folds down. And then we move the pedal back, lift with your legs, and then, here we go, let's find out. Okay. Yes! Well, I didn't expect that. It just shows how wide it actually is with the 14-inch wheels. In the back of a saloon. Now there's a couple of things to consider before you get an electric bike. For a start, you have to be a minimum age of 14 years old. This is perfect for commuting. However, if I was going to be doing, say, I don't know, woody forest paths, that kind of thing, I'd possibly go for a different model. But for commuting, and for just riding up and down cycle trails and doing things like promenades, this is perfect. It's even got cruise control, which can be activated when you get to a certain speed, and then it will maintain whatever the throttle's held at. It's amazing what you get on a bike that costs under 500 quid, currently. And on that note, stay tuned and we can save you some money.
And it's not just Ben who's enjoyed the bike, as it's mine too. I've had a chance to pot around on it, and with the smaller frame, it's just right. And like me, I'm sure you're looking at these thinking they must be at least £1,000, but with a smaller battery, it keeps the price down. On the website, these are on sale for £449. We can save you some money. Click on the link in the description below, enter the discount code PlanetAuto10, and we can save you an extra £50. Happy shopping! And please make sure you come back and tell us how you get on with your e-bike.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye.